So with Crown Jewel on November 5th, we all know the main event. It's going to be Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. And I think a good amount of us are excited about this match. However, one person who is not is Drew McIntyre. I believe it was in a podcast or an article where he said that he doesn't believe that Logan Paul should be getting a championship match. He says that he deserves a spot in WWE, but that he does not deserve a championship match. And I'm paraphrasing, so if I'm wrong, my bad. But I wanted to know, do you think that Drew is reacting, or does he have a right to feel the way that he does?
I see both sides of the situation. From Drew's side, I do see that, he could be rightfully upset because um he has all the elements that it takes to be that guy, to be one of the greatest superstars of all time and
Mhm.
to have a better legacy to him. And I feel like a lot of his moments are kind of forgettable, and I can
Mm.
understand the frustration with how long he's been there and how hard he slaved, between improving his physique, his look, getting a type of character that really gravitates with the audience, being a pretty loyal, committed worker when it
Mhm.
calls for it. I could see how frustrating, and also losing that match at a Clash at the Castle. I
Yeah.
could understand with all of that going on because he should have been champion of all people. To watch someone else who is being put in the seat simply because, well, they're social media famous and we live in the day and age where, like social media kind of it it's involved. It's literally kind of meshed into everything.
Right.
It's frustrating to see someone who just got here in what it was like March or something like that, or he came around like WrestleMania time and watch them literally just not even climb to the top. There was no climbing. I mean, he just jetpacked his way all the way straight to the top, and he's getting
Mhm.
put in a match with the face of the company. Is he going to win the match? Of course not. He's not going to win the match. But it's just like a lot of people don't even get to have their first title match in WWE, let alone the world title. You know what I mean? Not with just anyone, but again, a person who is the face of the company. This era's John Cena, basically. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like that. That has to be frustrating. That has to like suck. So I get it, but then from a business standpoint, it's like you want to cash in on the money. Like everyone loved the match that happened at WrestleMania with Logan Paul. I was a big fan of it, even though I'm not a fan of the stuff he's done in the past. As a talent, he's solid. I actually want to see the match. I'm hyped for the match.
Yeah.
But, I can't blame them for the business move because who else were you going to put in there that's going to be a draw? Who else in this situation is ready? The only other person that anyone would probably have cared to see is Cody, and that boy is out.
Right.
You gotta do what you have to do, and you gotta make your money. So I see both sides of it,
Mm.
but it's kind of one of those things where Drew kind of has to get over it. Like it's kind of how this business works. Like you just
Mm.
weren't it.
Mm.
That's just how I feel. How about you?
I feel like Drew has a right to feel the way that he feels. Like if you look at Drew McIntyre's path from when he started in WWE to his departure, kind of the working his way through the indies, coming back to WWE, winning the NXT championship, moving up to the main roster, having finally that WrestleMania moment only for it to be indoors at the WWE Performance Center because of the pandemic, unfortunately. You know what I mean? And then going from now and then they go to the UK, and he, loses that championship match. I understand completely how he feels. And on top of that, you gotta understand that like Drew is, I don't want to say one of the boys in a derogatory way, but he's a pro wrestler. He's a pro wrestler's pro wrestler. And I think that when you are a pro wrestler, that sometimes you can see like the business aspect of everything. You can see why people do things the way they do, but you're very much going to look at things through the filter of, well, I worked hard for this and this is something that I've wanted and this is something that I deserve and he does deserve. And I honestly think that he's going to win the WWE title again. I think that he's going to win it at the next Clash of the Castle. That's another discussion for another day. But I
Ooh, I
personally
like
just
that.
think that Drew is justified in feeling the way that he feels. However, in this case, there is no right or wrong because I feel like, once again, Logan Paul is a draw. When we talk about, like you kind of touched on it, and I think that it's very, very obvious in today's social media climate. Pro wrestling, like the wrestlers say, like your ability to be the GOAT is about how much butts you put in seats. And I feel like the reason why people say that or pro wrestlers say that is because the ticket is one of the most monetizable things in pro wrestling. Who do people pay to see? And as you know, business expands, now there's more monetization opportunities. So that has expanded into merch sales. That has expanded into social media as well, because social media is a monetizable platform. And when we're talking about monetizable platforms across the board, you have to consider Logan Paul a draw, and you have to consider pro wrestlers who are more popular on social media as draws, because they are part of the reason why a company makes money. They are providing things that are monetizable and bringing in profit. And so Logan Paul's a draw. And once again, I understand what Drew's point of view is, but like he's gonna get his turn again. I know that Drew's gonna get his turn again, but I just think that
Yeah.
you just kind of have to just see like Logan Paul's a draw. He's white hot right now, and you can't, when somebody's white hot, you have to build on the momentum. You can't just sit on it. Like, so they're
Mhm.
building off of Logan's momentum, and I think that they're doing the right thing. But I also understand how Drew feels. I don't think there's any right or wrong in this situation.
Not at
Go-
all. Not at
Going
all.
from that